This is a video of Chris driving across the 7 Mile Bridge, the longest bridge in the Florida Keys. We drop Winston off at Marathon Veterinary Hospital and are heading to Key West for the first of our two visits. Neither of us has been to Key West before. However, before running this video, I'm going to tell a story. This story is about Henry Morrison Flagler. Born in 1830, had an 8th grade education, worked in the family grain business. There he met an employee, John D. Rockefeller. Rockefeller decided he might have a better future in oil business and started a partnership with his inventor-chemist friend. Later, Rockefeller invited Flagler to join the partnership as an investor. That was a smart move because it was primarily Flagler who caused Standard Oil to become a monopoly by 1892. Flagler's wife became ill, and on doctor's orders, they moved to San Augustine, Florida. Flagler offered to buy a hotel there. The offer was refused, but the seed had been planted. Flagler built a 540-room Ponce de Leon Hotel, now Flagler College, there in 1888. It was a huge success. Flagler purchased short line railroads to establish the Florida East Coast Railway. The railroad extended to Daytona and more hotels. The railroad continued to Palm Beach, more hotels. This was to be the terminus of the Florida East Coast Railroad. However, after a deep freeze in San Augustine, Flagler decided the railroad needed to go further south. By 1896, the railroad was at Biscayne Bay. Flagler dredged channels, built hospitals, churches, schools, and the infrastructure for this new city. The citizenry wanted to name it Flagler. No, Flagler named it the Indian name Miami. Flagler was the father of Miami. For his third wife, in 1902, he built a mansion in Palm Beach, Whitehall, now the Flagler Museum. Palm Beach was now the winter retreat for the very wealthy. In 1905, Flagler thought about taking his railroad to Key West, 128 miles beyond the Florida Peninsula. He met with the best engineers. No way, impossible. Flagler put the project out to bid. No response, so he had to do it himself. The work began in 1905. Flagler was 75 years old. The Key West Extension, the Overseas Railroad, Flagler's Folly, the Eighth Wonder of the World, all names given to that project. The working conditions were horrific. The heat, the humidity, water, sawgrass, mosquitoes, snakes, alligators all took their toll. Many workers didn't stay. Many coming down from the north to work got off the train in Miami. There was a hurricane in 2006 that took the lives of nearly 150 men, but the work continued. The 2-mile Long Key Viaduct was completed in 1908. Flagler's one arch after another theory had worked. Nothing like it had ever been built. A picture of the train on the Long Key Viaduct became the enduring trademark of the entire Florida East Coast Railroad. Today you can see this picture throughout the Keys. This could have been the terminus of the railroad. Passengers were getting off the train, boarding ships for points south. No, the work continued. One worker remarked, "This railroad has become a regular marathon." Thus that camp on Vaca Key was named Marathon. Today, Marathon is the second largest city in the Keys. The next challenge was a 35,000-foot-long 7-mile bridge, 4 times longer than the famous Long Key Viaduct. It would be called 7 Miles of Hell. Meredith, Flagler's head engineer and project manager for the entire Key West Extension project, died unexpectedly in 1909. The construction continued under the leadership of Crome. Crome was to stop construction during the hurricane season, but he decided to continue because he wanted the railroad to reach Key West before Flagler's declining health resulted in his death. January 22, 1912, Henry Flagler, now blind, arrived in Key West in his personal rail car Rambler. He told the crowd, "Now I can die happy. My dream is fulfilled." Flagler died May 20, 1913, age 83. One part of President F.D. Roosevelt's New Deal was the Civilian Conservation Corps. The greatest tragedy to members of the CCC occurred during the Labor Day hurricane of 1935, one of the most violent storms on record. 3 CCC camps on the Florida Keys of Islamorada had a complement of 694 veterans. There were many casualties. That hurricane ended the Overseas Railway. Flagler had spent around $30 million and it was sold to the state of Florida for $640,000. But Flagler didn't ask if the Key West extension would make a profit. He only asked if it could be built. There are no more men like Henry Flagler, and there are no more dreams like his. Yesterday we have software titans who seek to bridge gaps measured in millimicrons and nanoseconds, and such accomplishment is dizzying in its own right, but that kind of bridge building pales in comparison to those that Flagler built across the Florida Keys. Now we'll begin our drive across the 7 Mile Bridge. I've started the video a little early just to show the trees on the side of the road. I had thought the overseas highway would be nothing but a view of the ocean on either side. Definitely not the case. Not only when driving through the towns, there are many places along the route where you can't see water on either side. You see the original railroad structure on the right. After the state of Florida acquired it, that structure was converted from railroad to highway, was completed in 1938. We had talked to a couple on a Pigeon Key tour, blog post Pigeon Key, February 27, who used to drive that road, and they said it was very narrow and not a fun drive. Now you can walk on that structure from Marathon to Pigeon Key, about a 2¼ mile hike. You'll notice that just beyond the ramp at Pigeon Key there is a break in the old structure. Beyond that break the old structure is left to deteriorate. The first Chevrolet commercial with Dinah Shore, "See the USA in your Chevrolet," was filmed at Pigeon Key. The road that we on is plenty wide, wide shoulders, jersey walls on the side. It's finished in 1982. Driving this road is extremely comfortable. We're going to speed up the video a little bit now. After we get off the bridge, we will be in Scout Key, then Missouri Key, finally Ohio Key, where the Sunshine Key RV Resort and Marina is located.